gameplay.
Spylo.
Keep your phone on.
All right, on my phone. All right, we're team coaching, which we actually haven't done in a really long time. I realized this that like we had the I guess technically it ended up being sort of team coaching with NKZ last weekend, but we haven't actually done like proper team coaching. I'm actually trying to stop here. And honestly, it's been ages. It's been a really long time. And so I think you guys are going to enjoy this. For those of you, especially who are not necessarily new to the channel, but who haven't been around for a long time, you're going to get a little bit of a different treat. For those of you who've seen the in-depth coaching, that will be good. You guys will recognize a lot of the same processes that I go through with in-depth coaching. Will also be the same with team coaching, but they're all going to be, there's going to be some differences. There's going to be some key differences. I think you guys are going to learn a lot. My goal, whenever we're doing team coaching, is to not just to teach them how to play a composition, but again, to get to the inner workings of the team, figure out what needs to be done beyond just playing the composition better, in the hopes that they'll be able to actually learn something from it that they're going to be able to take away from the team. Because the other thing is, a lot of times teams are in flux, players change, situations change. But if you can walk away from the session and actually feel like I have an idea of like what I need to be looking for moving forward, that's the goal. That's the goal. It is a fancy light. Yeah, so let's hop into it. Make sure that we're good to go. I think we're good. I think we're good. I think we should be all set. So let's do this. Oh geez, the hair. I didn't even look at the hair. It's you know what? It's exactly what we'd expect. I can't. It's getting worse. We're not gonna touch it. All right, chat. We're gonna hop on over.
When he comes in.
Yo, what's up,
Yo.
guys? All right, so you're gonna have to introduce yourself one at a time, and it's gonna be like you guys ever seen Sound of Music, that old movie?
Yeah.
No? Okay. You know how like all the little kids, they like blow the whistle and they like step forward, introduce themselves, and like stomp forward, That's kind of what I'm expecting. You don't have to do it with German accent, so you guys just introduce yourself down the line, and we'll go from there.
All right.
All right, cool.
Okay.
Alphabetically.
All right. That's too much for my brain, man.
My name is Aiden.
We're already in alphabetical order.
Hello, Aiden.
Hello,
I'm an Overwatch player for JMU.
Okay.
I am the Lucio player.
Okay.
/ Hana.
Banger.
His name is Gigafart.
Okay, Gigafart. I love it. All right.
I'm Carter. I'm the tank sub.
Okay. Impulse, you have to introduce yourself as well. Sorry.
Yes.
Hello.
I'm Philip. I'm the DPS guy.
Sick.
Philip.
Impulse.
Okay. Continue.
I'm Parker. I played only Brig in Overwatch 1, and I hated every minute of it.
We're gonna be good friends. And then Storm Hornet.
Yo, I'm tank guy. I'm the one who put him on Brig.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I know who to blame.
He's my arch nemesis.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, and then our other DPS guys got that mandatory meeting. So.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, no worries. We should be okay. Well, they can just look back at the stream later. Shouldn't be a problem, or if you guys require it, it really doesn't matter here. Okay, so let me do this then. Let me actually. What I'll probably end up doing is I'm going to end up streaming through Discord and then streaming through Twitch as well, so you guys don't have to worry about the delay. Let me give me a second to do that really fast. I would prefer to stream through. And go not stream Overwatch, essentially. I don't want to stream Overwatch. I wanted to actually go through the straight VOD, because with team coaching, I want to like actually listen to comps, right? So before we get started though, let's actually I'm gonna pull up my Microsoft Paint here. Actually, before I even start the VOD, I got ahead of myself. So you guys are JMU. Can you kind of describe to me like what that is, what your situation is, like what's the Overwatch team scene looking like for you guys?
Okay, so our esports program just recently got like some funding last year, but as far as Overwatch goes, we have very few players. Like,
Okay.
what you see is what you get, pretty much. Like, we have
Thanks.
Our current roster is the only somewhat serviceable players that we found. Every other player that tried out was gold or bronze or lower.
Okay. Okay.
So it's kind of it's a little scuffed, but that's collegiate, I guess. I don't know.
Our colors are purple and yellow too, by the way.
Oh, purple and yellow.
Purple,
Okay.
yeah,
purple and gold,
okay.
I guess.
All right. Well, I'll celebrate that with not bronze. Sick.
We were all at least
Yeah,
diamond
so we
in
have
Overwatch
we
1.
have yeah we have a weird ranking distribution sort of.
Okay. Okay. Break down the ranking distribution and call it like your role as well, because I don't know everybody's voices just yet.
So our healers are, let's say, average, like Overwatch 1 diamond.
Okay.
Thanks.
Oh, that's a horrible color.
And then
We'll stick with it. Go ahead.
our flex CPS is like Overwatch 1 GM, like low GM, and then our main tank is, or our tank, I guess.
Philip, you are
I don't
flex okay.
I am flex CPS.
Yes, you said that in third person.
He's just that good. He's not even allowed to mention his name. Okay, so it's flex DPS is GM. Okay, and then what was you said your tank was?
Also GM. I played.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't play enough towards the end, but I was scrimming 4500 about a year and a half ago, and then stopped, and then came back.
And then your hit scan, is that the person not here?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He's diamond, but he's kind of a freak because like
he's very 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 good,
like
and somehow low diamond. And I don't understand because he's hard diffing his DPS counterparts in scrims constantly.
Okay. Well, if you wouldn't be a hit scan if they weren't some sort of freak of nature in one way, shape, or form. They're either like hardcore degenerate, really, really good, really, really inflexible, really, really flexible, weird behavior, probably doesn't wear deodorant.
Oh,
there's always
sounds a lot like Eric.
He plays Widow like Siege sometimes, but he'll kill
like,
3, so it's
he's like the highest rank in Siege, so he like does like these freakish angles. It's like awful.
Okay. Let's actually add a second note here. Let me get my text out here.
We didn't play much like Widow, so
okay. Let's do this here. Probably on crack. Okay. I'll put that one. Yes. Okay. Right. And then your sub tank. Tell me about yourself.
I would say diamond tank probably.
Okay.
I hit masters once, but it was kind of like with queuing with people. So
okay. When you say sub tank, by the way, is that just you fill in what the team what the main tank doesn't play, or you just
if Lawson is sick, I will play. Yeah, if Stormhornet is sick, I will play. But
sub tank
probably on crack.
If main tank equals dead. Okay, so we'll always have the backup option. Okay, we've got a good backup option. Okay, so why did you guys get coaching? Because you seem like pretty impromptu, bit of a mess, but you're paying money to get coaching in collegiate. So at least one of you, we already know one of you is on crack, but it sounds like more of you is on crack to want to do such a thing. So what would possess you to do that?
So last year, you go ahead.
Okay, in my opinion, I think we have a problem where we're almost we were kind of ball comp one tricks, and I feel like that kind of puts us in a situation where our supports are basically always invincible, right? And they can't. It's hard to learn this new game.
Yeah.
And then it's also in my opinion, it feels different for me to play DPS and have actual space and not if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I have a lot more freedom, and we basically only been playing in the meta where it was ball comp, and I don't think we've learned any other stuff except for Lawson. But
can you tell me specifically what ball comp you guys played?
Ball Diva Briggs and Tracer.
Gotcha. So it was the old school Sombra. Was it Sombra Tracer or a hit scan Ash?
Sombra Tracer.
Sombra Tracer. Okay.
Sometimes we played Ash.
Okay, gotcha.
We switched it up a few times.
Gotcha. So you guys were the old 2020, late 2020 meta of the Briggs and Ball Sombra Tracer, and you guys one trick that how long? Until basically when?
Probably the game we one tricked until the end of the game.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
How did you guys do? How did you guys do? Because obviously you're let's say you're playing up against a Masters team, right? Most Masters teams.
We do well.
We got to 4.1 scrims where we were pretty holding our own.
That's really good.
But then Yeah, but we started playing it probably like in February because our team had like some internal issues with like and the officializing of our esports org. So
Okay, is that something that you guys are like able to share or not really?
We can. I mean, it's
as long as you're not throwing like leaking any information that can't be.
No.
We had an old teammate.
One of our old DPS players was
actually doing crack cocaine.
Yes.
Well, basically, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
it's always the DPS players, man.
Yeah, no, he was also a main support player.
See, Mercy one tricks. You just can't trust anybody. I'm kidding.
He's a Lucio one trick.
Yeah, he was the Lucio one trick.
Even
wanted
worse.
to play DPS, even though we had a DPS line. I don't know. It was a very weird situation. He said a lot of slurs, and then he got kicked. Blowing up in the server.
I'm sorry. That's not supposed to be funny. I just found the way you said
that. No, it's pretty funny.
Okay. Okay, so unpleasant person is gone. That's good. Okay, was that a team decision? Was that a breath of fresh air, or was he somebody who like you guys relied on mechanically, or what?
Oh, so we scrimmed like we would like get dumpstered by like 3.3 teams. Not dumpstered, but like it was frustrating, right?
Yeah.
Especially because like
good mechanically and individually, but
but
not good for morale or any sort of team play.
Gotcha.
And then so then we started, and once we got like him off, we started like trying to like actually improve. And I guess like we weren't restricted because we ended up playing like lots of Pharah comps because that's what he was good at.
Yeah.
And so
Gotcha. Makes sense. Okay, so the freedom, the chains have been broken. You guys no longer want to be or can be ball one tricks or held hostage by a toxic player. And now you're transitioning to Overwatch 2. You've been scrimming against, recently anyway, doing pretty well up against even like low GM teams. Okay, so what's the goal? So you've answered like a little bit of your team's history, a lot of your team's history. But like again, why coaching? What's the purpose of this? I guess.
Get better. Hello.
Like advantage. Yeah, like probably advantage. We have a lot of matches coming up soon, and obviously, I mean, scrims have been like hard to like get with servers, but I think there's a lot to learn. There's a lot. And also like, I feel like there's a lot of intricacies like these comps that we don't understand, and we have like
something more like specific in the last scrim, especially me and Aiden, the support duo. We seem to be dying a lot more than we have, and we're not really used to that.
Okay.
So we're kind of trying to work more in positioning. Going to the same places, just being together more as like a support duo.
Okay, so supports are dying more than usual. And then you said you're struggling with compositions as well, some of the stuff you guys are playing into?
I think just like figuring out how to play them. Yeah.
Okay. Now, when you say how, so like what's the goal for you guys? Is it to find like a composition similar to the ball comp where you guys can maybe soft one trick it? Or is it to...
Yeah, it's we want to find a comp or two where we feel like we are able to understand how it works and consistently use it against like other comps. Because with ball comp, we got to a point, both just like on our own, and we also did some coaching with DPay towards the end of the year.
Okay.
And we had a pretty solid understanding of like how the game worked and how the comp worked.
All right.
Like in different fights, and that was really good. And I don't know. I'm personally as well having a lot of trouble figuring out how to play certain comps, which is hard because I'm trying to IGL also.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know. And so, me personally, I'm looking to figure out like how we should be playing certain things and how to take fights in space and all that shit.
Okay. So here's what I cannot do. I cannot tell you that this is the comp that you guys need to be one tricking, because I think I know that's not exactly what you guys are asking, but I can't answer that question because we don't know what the answer is going to be, especially with Kiriko in. And then in addition to that, even more important than that is finding about the way y'all's strengths like kind of line up. You know what I'm saying? That's something that you guys are going to have to answer on your own, essentially. But what I can do is I can supply you with information about Overwatch 2 fundamentals and what you guys can be doing like better as a team, and what are some things you can be doing in terms of experimenting with comps, so that you will find that comp faster. And then once you do find that comp, you will already have a head start on figuring out the details of that comp. Does that make any sense?
Yeah. Okay. For sure. And obviously, like, I guess since we're patching it so much, we can't find a comp that will stay forever good. So.
Yeah, exactly. So what this is going to mean is that this is going to be, let's stop right there. This is going to be a really unique review, in that what we're going to do is we're going to have to not at all just break down each composition. It's going to be like in terms of detail. What it will be instead is I will want to quickly go through each, like talk about some of the macro of the game. Like we can spend 10 minutes or so on that. But then actually, like, let's in the review, I want to skip around, and you're going to practice learning compositional play styles and practice learning matchups without actually having to break down the micro. For example, like you're looking at my screen right now. How do you win versus this comp in blue? You know what I'm saying? Do you know the answer to that? Probably not, right? Maybe not, at least in detail. Okay. Great. What about this matchup? What about this matchup? What about this matchup? What about this matchup? And what we're going to do is you guys are going to get a crash course on how to answer all those questions. Does that kind of make sense? So not only how to play the matchup, but also how to play the composition in the first place. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So fundamentals of Overwatch 2 macro. And I strongly recommend, if you aren't writing this down or typing this up, somebody to do this right now. Couple of things that aren't changed, okay? Planning is as important, if not more important, in Overwatch 2. So planning, ult tracking, that whole phase has to be not just done well, but done perfectly. And if it's not done perfectly, you keep hammering at it over and over and over again until it's done. You ult track, you track what ults they have, and then you get into the fight and you know exactly what ults you're going to be trying to use or what ults they're going to be trying to use and planning around those. Okay, that has not changed. The second thing that has not changed and has become more important, if you've followed any of my other content, whether it's team VOD reviews, macro, Overwatch League content, or one-on-ones, like roast reviews, angles, map control matter even more. Because essentially, if you looked at this composition right here and you were to say, let's add a Reinhardt in this composition, or like, let's say Winston, Diva, Moira, Lucio. You guys remember that comp, right? The Moira, Reaper, horrible, right? You could just go to point, 3, 2, 1, turtle on point, build coalescence, and then just cheat the first fight one and cough of that comp versus so many things. When you lose a tank, you lose tankiness and sustain, and you cannot do that anymore. If you go straight to point and play to turtle on point, play for objective without playing for the map, with any comp in Overwatch 2, it doesn't work. Now, you might be able to pull it off in like Masters if you're really good at it, but like that's the wrong mindset. The one exception to that rule was the Junker Queen comp, this last meta in Overwatch 2, but then that got nerfed, got hit by a hard nerf hammer, and that comp is gone as well. So angles matter, map control matters, scouting matters, flanks matter, all that kind of stuff, and they matter even more than they did in Overwatch 1. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. The last thing I'm going to say, and this shouldn't be a surprise to you, again, if you've seen any of my reviews, is that timing is everything in team play. If you look at this comp right here, let's just skip forward, and your Tracer is diving, your Sombra needs to also be diving, your Zarya needs to also be pressuring the enemy team, and you want your backline engaged at the same time as well. Now, they might engage on you first, in which case your Tracer needs to be pressuring their backline, your Sombra needs to be pressuring their backline, and your backline needs to be fully focused on peeling at the same time. If there is ever a desync with what your front line, your flankers, or your backline are doing, then you're going to lose fights just strictly from that, even if you think you're playing the composition correctly. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that definitely lines up, I think, with one of our problems, because I mean, previously we always had like a diva, right? And then we'd have like the ball front line or like diving as well. So it's a lot different having, especially because our ball player is the one that has to be peeling now.
Right. Let me actually change what I'm streaming as well, because I want to stream. Actually, I don't know if I can because it won't stream. I really wanted to stream Epic Pin, but I don't think I can without you losing game audio. So I'm just gonna have to live with it. Okay. So yeah, timing is really, really important. One other little micro, I wouldn't say micro, but I guess detail that guys need to be aware of is that you said your backline's dying a little bit more. We'll look to see what the actual cause is, but something to be aware of in Overwatch 2 is that because like turtling and standing in one spot is a lot harder because you have one fewer tank to control space, That does mean if your backline isn't dynamically moving, or at least being very reactive to what the enemy DPS are doing, then you are going to die a lot. So for example, like let's say your Ana Lucio is positioning on this line here. Can you guys see my mouse?
Yeah.
If the enemy team sets up their pharmacy and their tracer to dive that position, you don't have a diva or another tank to be able to bully them out and prevent them from taking space. If you stand in one position, unless that position is unbelievably powerful, you're probably going to struggle a little bit more with support. You have to be able to be fluid and dynamic with your movement. That can be aggressively or that can be defensively. But either way, what will happen is you'll end up dying less if you're paying more attention to like movement away or towards the enemy threats. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes. Sure. So a lot of like kind of boring talking macro terms, which I like learning, but I hate talking about. Let's actually get to the actual gameplay itself. So can you guys, last thing I'm going to ask, can you guys break down your basic communication structure? Do you guys have ult tracking? How do you guys handle planning? Is there an IGL? Is it more team-based? How do you guys do it? I'm already excited, but based off of that laugh.
So Lawson or Storm Hornet and then me, Impulse, we both kind of IGL. Like I think Lawson gives more of like planning and I just give more like what if I want to do something.
Gotcha.
But because like I guess my calls would be more situational. Ult tracking, I've been trying to emphasize that we need to do it more because I mean I try, but I feel like there's too much stuff I'm thinking about already to like always think about every fight, which is something I should probably work on. But yeah,
one of our weak points is all I'm gonna say.
Oh yeah, I try to emphasize our supports to try to ult track more if they can.
Okay. Does anyone else have any other thoughts?
That's pretty accurate. We don't ult track much. We need to do that more.
Okay.
I do a lot of fight planning. Phillips a lot of like mid-fight
Yep.
calls, reactions, and shit like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure. In the comms, you probably hear like, I realize they have an ult, and I just like, it clicks. I just start like yelling it, but it's like too late usually. Like,
Okay.
we definitely need the information before, but I'm not ready to like.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, first off, is like you guys are not an Overwatch League team, so you have to kind of like gauge your expectations realistically, and certainly you have to gauge your expectations reasonably about what you're going to be able to improve on in a couple of weeks. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So maybe the goal is to have perfect comms. I don't think it's unreasonable for even a lower ranked team to have quote unquote perfect communication. But like for right now, what do you guys think is like the immediately biggest improvement you guys can make in your communication before we even watch the VOD? Is it the ult tracking?
100%.
Maybe
like
like also
definitely
reducing like
ult tracking, clearing comms.
Yeah, cluttering
as
comms
much
is also a problem.
What do you mean
Sometimes.
cluttering comms? Is that like a team thing or is it an individual thing?
It's a team thing.
Okay.
It's
It's just everyone talking at the same time. It's
Okay. What is usually being said?
I have no clue.
Will we have some examples of it here?
Calling the wrong targets.
I would say yeah, like so we're seeing Eric isn't here, but sometimes like Lawson or I will like call someone and then he'll go and like hack someone else, and I feel like either we've only been playing Sombra a little bit obviously, but or like for this Sombra where it's much more important to like hack a target and like insta kill them on like Sombra Tracer, but
Gotcha.
like, I ask him to like ping someone for me or like because I'm not invis obviously, but
Right.
like, I think he could call that more, but then he's like calling it like mid fights and like hacking someone else. I think there's a disconnect in like target calling.
Okay, makes sense. I mean,
also pre-fight planning. I think if we thought about pre-fight planning, I think that'd be huge.
Oh my god, here he is.
I love Eric's profile picture.
Okay. Is this the Sombra one trick or?
This is the Sombra.
Yeah.
The Sombra Widow guy.
The Sombra Widow crack addict? Okay. You wouldn't believe the crappy things they were saying about you, dude. I tried to have your back, but they just
Eric, we were
refused
straight up blaming you.
We were straight
every
shitting
time,
on you,
man.
dude.
Every time.
Okay. Yeah, so let's listen to a little bit of communication and let's see what happens. One little thing just to keep in mind is like, this is going to sound super cringy, but just think about it. It's like 60-70% of communication is just listening. So just something to think about. Let's get started here.
You're right.
Word up.
You're fucking weird.
Yeah, Viva.
Great comms. Okay. Just walk through
Fair,
right side. Go
fair.
bottom right, bottom right. Sit around.
Wait, fair no mercy?
Saying, hello, Dita. How you doing?
Yeah, he has mercy.
Yeah.
Mercy,
Eric, can you go on Tracer main? Can you go on
Mercy, hack on the back. Mercy one.
Okay,
Yes, I'm on Mercy.
Okay, so timing there was kind of like dog poo. But one thing I really, really like that I think I want to accentuate is what do you guys hear right here? Listen carefully.
Bear no mercy.
Right.
Hello, Dita. How
here.
you doing?
Yeah, yeah, mercy, yes, mercy, yes, mercy.
Yeah.
Mercy, hack
Eric,
on
can you
the
go on
Megan,
Tracer main? Can you go on
Mercy, hack on
Tracer
the Megan, mercy one, mercy one, mercy
Okay,
one.
Yes, I'm
Did you hear what was? There was a question asked.
Yeah, I was asking for help.
Okay, what were you asking for help for? What were you asking?
To duel the Tracer with.
Yeah.
Or like, yeah.
Yeah. Now, to be frank with you, I think that's probably one of the stupidest calls I think I've ever heard in this match in the history of the world. Not saying that you should never go for Tracer here. Maybe but like in this instance, when you have a Mercy literally right in front of you, go for the Mercy for crying out loud. But I'm saying that call is elite level usefulness. There are a lot of Overwatch League teams right now that would do better to use more calls like that. That is a perfect call right there. And if the target's better and the timing's a little bit cleaner, then we're going to have a real good time. Doesn't matter what composition you guys play. So for you guys, it's going to, for the key thing for you guys is going to understand the very, very basics of like the matchups and what you guys can be looking for. And then communicating well to coordinate those plays to happen. Okay, I love that call. Let's keep watching.
Come on, Mercy, Mercy. Mercy still, Mercy still, Mercy still, Mercy still. Well,
Cheers on me. I'm
double
dead.
Lucio. Mercy's one still.
On the Mega no re.
Okay. So in terms of communication, that was okay. Let's actually talk a little bit about fight, like compositional matchup here. So you guys tell me, how do you play this matchup? I'm not going to spoon feed it to you. You guys are going to have to think about it. Just as simply as you can, in 2 sentences.
Nice
Well,
answer.
Mark,
Nice answer.
probably at least myself, I can mark the Ana really easily.
Who's my like?
Oh! As
Tracer.
Tracer, I can mark the
Okay.
Ana really.
What do you mean,
easily.
Mark?
Like either kill her or like limit her ability to like.
I want us to think big. What is the team goal here?
Okay.
You're not wrong, but what is the team goal here?
Alive, kill enemies.
Kill enemies. Okay, so how do you do that?
Kill the Pharah.
How?
Call targets. Stay together.
Okay.
We cannot kill the Pharah easily. I mean, only Ana can basically, right? Or
Get a hack maybe, but that's
Yeah.
like you have to TP in the air.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't know what to go on here, honestly.
Okay.
I felt that mid fight as well.
Okay. Let's play it out just a little bit. What are your available targets here?
Well, the Mercy didn't have Guardian Angel bound, so she was on the ground.
Yeah. If that Mercy doesn't completely troll the lobby, what are your options?
Ana.
Okay. How would you
on high? I can't get there.
Okay, so then what are your
Sorry,
options?
yeah.
Okay, so if Ana's on high ground, what can you do instead?
Could play point.
Okay. What does that do?
The Ana has to drop to get any
Yeah.
OS on
Okay.
her team.
Can you stay point in Overwatch 2?
But not against
No.
that comp.
No way. You will get spammed out instantly. So what's the play then?
Hold them point and just dive.
If we want to play the long game, we could try and rotate through their spawn to stairs,
You
take
could.
their height to force them off.
Yeah, you could. It's corny, but it would work.
Yeah.
You could. You can also do, so remember when I said going for the tracer is really stupid? Okay, let's put it this way. Let's say you guys are playing from this room in the right here, and that Ana's just sitting on high and refusing to drop, and the Diva's like sitting on top of her, and the tracer's like, let's say down here. Is that go for tracer call stupid anymore?
Nah,
No. Why?
because she has
It's
no
alive,
OS
no
from her
OS.
Ana.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can kill a tracer if she's split, or at least force a recall, maybe even chase her, right? You can kill an Ana if she's diveable. If a Mercy messes up, you can kill her. If you get a hack on a Pharah, you can kill her. And even a hack on a Diva. Diva's just not killable in Overwatch 2, but what can you do if you hack her?
Force her out.
Force her
Lower
out,
down.
right? Burn her HP, force her out. There you go. So what's the common theme between all of those potential plays that we said? What's the general play style? Like, what are you playing for?
Slow.
Well, not necessarily.
Not. I guess-
Punish positioning, look for hack.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's it. Just look for opportunities with hack and then go. And then if you don't get it, if you don't get the kill, what do you do?
Back up. And
Back
do
out.
Reset,
reset.
do it again.
Yeah.
Reset and do it
Yeah.
again. Reset and do it again. Reset and do it again. So what's the problem with this? So you guys go, you're too slow to recognize the right target, which is the
We
problem.
hard commit.
Right.
and then-
So let's keep watching. Okay, look at your Lucio, look at your Zarya, look at your Tracer, obviously goofs it, right? So what's the problem here then?
We never got out.
You never got out, right? You went in, you failed. You still got a lot of pressure though, right? And then you never got out. Because the thing is if you get a good hack and get good pressure, oftentimes that will slowly, like that forced a lot of cooldowns from them. Maybe more cooldowns than you guys even used yourself. So something to keep in mind. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And
for sure.
guys, that is the play style with this composition versus pretty much everything. Rhine comps, you need to make sure that Rhine comp never, ever, ever has a split soldier or a split sojourn or a split BAP or a split on it. If they get split, they die. If the Reinhardt goes in solo feed, tries to pin in and try and create space like Hadi, he's hacked and he dies or he loses all of his HP. Same kind of play style. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So that one you might have to play a little bit quote unquote slower because the opportunities might be fewer and far between. But it's the same play style. Versus something like this, if you see an opportunity, go for it. If you don't, find a position, reset, try and find another target. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's keep going. Do you guys have any questions about that matchup?
Not really.
Okay. So that's one comp you can play and one play style that you can play. Let's look at this one. This one is completely and totally different. Let's actually listen to communication first. I'm going to get my order correct here.
They go
They have
other man.
Control. They have Zarya. I think they have Sombra too. Lucio's Dis on left. I'm gonna go on a bridge. On a bridge.
I'm on.
Or I rolled
Attack,
shit.
attack,
Help me,
attack.
help me, help me.
I'm on her. Lucio's Dis on left. I'm
They
gonna
go
go
other man.
Control. They have Zarya. I think they have Sombra too. Lucio's Dis on left. I'm gonna go on a bridge. On a bridge.
I'm on.
Or I rolled
Attack,
shit.
attack,
Help me, help me, help me, help me.
I'm on her. Well, dead. I'm slept.
Where did you go, Parker?
Okay, you can go with your since I have it.
I had to get out.
Someone.
Keep it.
Oh, fuck.
Okay. So I don't think communication was too bad there. I just think you guys could not have played it possibly worse. So matchup.
They have a Lucio.
Okay. Well,
So
before
see
you
that
okay,
now.
listen. Before you even roll out of spawn doors, how would you describe your composition? Is it greedy? Is it
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right. So what are you vulnerable to?
Vulnerable to,
Diving.
especially our support's getting like killed on an off angle or something. But at
Right.
the same time, that's kind of the strength
Right.
that you try and take multiple angles. And I think we actually have a favorable matchup against their comp.
I think you can do okay.
Right.
Yeah, I think you can do okay. This map will be tough with it because there's not a lot of space. Basically, your comp is like, how would you describe the range of the composition compared to their composition?
Hell of a lot longer.
Yeah, a
We have
lot
a lot
longer,
more
right?
range.
The more time you get to
longer.
shoot them, the better it's going to feel. In fact, you can actually dive them if you can spam them enough early. But what's the problem here? Do you get time to?
off the map.
Yeah,
We just walked into
but we have no time to spam. You see,
Yeah.
look at their HP, and look at your HP. Right, pretty much the same. These guys need to be taking serious damage before they walk forward. Otherwise, it's going to be over. So obviously, getting booped off the map, but it really doesn't change the end result here, if we're being honest. So then, how do we get early pressure? How do we get early spam? How would we do that here? I'm not even sure, by the way, if this composition, I think, is probably a hard troll in this map, but I don't care. I want you guys to figure this out.
Yeah, we thought we did run Pharah, so we thought it might be better.
Okay,
but,
well, then
yeah.
we'll get to the Pharah matchup in just a second, too. But let's focus on the one that you have right here.
So I think we should probably just dormant bridge here since they're already pushing up. Is
Okay.
that-
And then what's the mindset? What should your entire mindset
Just
be? What should
okay,
the,
why-
Spam and rotate.
yeah, and what should the
Position
calls
away
be?
from them.
What should you be who should we be trying to pressure? Who should be pressuring? Who should be
Over at
calling?
Discord or a Sombra hacks or anything like that.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else, guys?
To not like hard engage on someone while our supports are rotating and can't get as much value.
Okay. Sure. Your mindset has to be with Discord, with our Ana healing, with our damage. I want to find any of these targets, especially the ones that are going aggressively, and shoot them and shoot them and shoot them and shoot them over and over and over and over and over again. Do not let them like chill or restabilize. If they use all their cooldowns, push them. You have to keep early and often pressure. So what is the problem with this rotation? It's not just the backline that kind of trolls here. Listen to the communication here.
Those discs on left. I'm gonna go on a bridge.
You see this?
We're on their back line.
Right.
We're playing it like it's ball comp, and there's a diva on our supports, but there's not.
Right, exactly. So you guys are going hard for backline. Now that's not always a bad thing, but what's the priority to make sure that your supports have space early on? Who should you be pressuring? Zarya or
Reaper
or Sombra. Or yeah, heck, even Lucio. Yeah, if Lucio's going aggressive too. Yeah, these guys should not be able to play the game. I need break bubble, Discord on Zarya, D.Va sitting on Zarya, burn her alive, spy check the Sombra, force the Reaper Wraith. Then once we see those cooldowns and we're still good, let's go kill that backline. You see what I'm saying? You need to be. It needs to be a good offense is a great defense. And right now, this is us skipping steps. If they were on Pharah, so give me, let's just see what they ran last time. So the Pharah on a Mercy. Okay, so how would you play versus the Pharah on a Mercy? This same comp, how would you play?
Oh, they're not on our back line as hard, so we actually have angles. We can, in theory, the idea here was to play this like ball cop, which probably wouldn't work as well, but what we would normally do is put on a Zen and Dojo, so they're relatively safe from the forest spam, and then look for angles on their backline to try and kill that.
And if we like matrix them into Dojo, then that if like their Pharah got greedy or something, that's like a free punish.
Okay.
Like force them to push us, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. Seems good to me. I think that seems like perfectly reasonable. Okay. Let's look at this matchup. Oh boy, we're on a totally different comp. You guys are really like stress testing the stuff. I like it. Was this
like our first like actual scrim?
No, I'm not even being sarcastic. I think this is good. I think I will suggest this, that what I would try to do to make the stress test maybe a little bit better is I'd probably try and play only like 2 comps for the scrim block. And then just do a couple days where you just try those two scrims or those 2 compositions on a couple of scrims, and then be like, I don't like that one. Let's keep that one. I don't like that one so much. And then then try a different composition for a couple of days. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of like mix and match, but I wouldn't be changing it. Like I wouldn't be playing like 7 different compositions in a scrim because it's hard to like really get a read of how something feels. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So maybe just
we end up just cycling those anyway.
Yeah.
Those 3 that we just did.
Gotcha. Okay, then that's good to hear then. Okay, so how do you play this composition? I don't like. Let's just block out the blue, focus on the red for right now. What's the general goal?
I feel like Genji has a lot more like burst potential, or like I guess snowball potential than Tracer does.
Okay, you've lost me. I'm already bored. You're talking too much about micro. I went basic for stupid people like me.
Oh.
Run into enemy team, kill enemy backline, use Zarya bubble to get charge and shoot enemy backline.
Okay. How do you use your bubble?
Bubble Genji when dive in.
Okay, sounds good. I love it. You can do that. Can you do that versus this comp?
I don't like that as Genji.
Okay. Why not?
I feel like they have a lot to punish me with, and I can't unless we force a lot of their cooldowns. I would just get like, or I'd use like all my cooldowns basically,
Gotcha.
and then just like get and be like useless.
Somebody said, and I quote. So please clarify your hesitancy.
I think it's fine to just bubble Genji in. Like if they break your bubble, you have deflect. I don't know. I think it's okay.
Okay.
Like you could even like dash engage and then deflect out after bubble breaks.
Let me explain to you my thought process of this matchup. So I think you can go fast tempo with this comp and play to bubble Genji, and that would be fine. I think optimally this composition wants to play for slightly longer sightlines than the blue because you have the Sojourn, because I think Genji has better consistent poke than a Reaper does. But you don't have to. If you roll out here and you make the wrong read, but you play it well, it doesn't matter. I don't think the gap between these compositions is that big. If you run in with Bubble Genji on Ana and you throw a Sojourn E into the middle of their backline, I don't think you're going to be going, oh, shoot, guys, we should have played it slower as you're one-shotting their Ana. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it matters that much. But I do think, like, if you wanted to play this one optimally, you would play to kind of mark their Reaper, scout for Sombra, and then like set up your Sojourn kind of pressure on their Zarya. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah.
Now, that being said, I don't think it matters super much. If you want to do what you said with your herder sentence, which is go in really hard, bubble Genji, win game, that would also be fine. So let's listen to communication and see if we do either of these things well.
Come on, Ana.
They're walking on me.
Sorry, pushing Parker. Sorry, he's pushing Parker.
Left her.
Sorry, dead. Sorry, dead. Sorry, dead.
Hey, Reaper.
Nice, thank you.
Hello. Okay.
Retreated Zarya.
Heal you, Eric.
Why, what?
Reaper point. Reaper point. Half.
Reaper.
One is one. Yeah,
There, Aiden.
Two hacks.
I can't see you guys.
I'm on.
Do you see how it gets kind of messy?
Yeah.
So
I think the TP putting me behind also didn't help with.
Right. So the thing is you TP, but then you guys already have given it the space anyway, and then obviously like there's a huge gap between these two, right? Now, is this split between Zarya and backline okay?
Yeah, we have the.
I would say so,
if they don't have a Zarya like standing on top of them.
It's okay, but he has to know, right? He has to know, and so then how would he play if he knows that he's split like this?
A lot safer.
Yeah,
It's kind of like
just
running into the Reaper.
Right. Again, this is the timing thing that we talked about. You guys are dealing with aggression on your backline, so you have no resources to share with this player, right? So this player has to be able to play it safe and survive, because this Zarya is going to die. She's going to die. But what she does is she actually kamikazes and trades Zarya's, right? So that's not a good play from her, but it's just a net neutral, right? And that kind of sucks. We want to take positive trades. And then at this point in time, what should the communication be like at this point, right? We've got 4-on-4. What are we thinking?
Pick a target.
Right, pick a target.
Pick somebody.
Who should be calling, do you think, for these kind of things?
Genji, probably.
Probably Genji.
Sure.
Why Genji?
Can see everybody.
Right. So Genji's your burst. Genji can see everybody. Genji's going to be like, let's shoot the Reaper. Let's force this Wraith. Okay, now let's walk forward. Let's do this. Okay, let's walk forward. Let's do this. Even things like this, right? So like this is troubling to me. It's not the fact that there's a Sojourn on the backline. What's the real problem here?
The disconnect.
The disconnect, right? I've got one person who's literally going all the way in balls to the wall, which is fine, but where's my Lucio? Where's my Genji? Where's my Ana? Right?
Yeah.
Over here and over here. That's the disconnect. So these are the things that have to, like, and this fight is unlosable. Well, okay, now we're not so sure, right? And these are the things that you guys need to change and you need to fix regardless of the composition that you're playing. This is not a composition problem. This is a mindset. This is just a team play problem. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys have broken down this composition. Let's just go to here. How would you guys play this neutral fight against this composition with this composition? How would you play it?
Force out cooldowns like the other map, right?
How would you force out cooldowns?
Long sight lines, angles, spam.
Play wide since they have Reaper.
Silverstein, how would you position?
I need to be on the mega, on the like right below where the camera is, or in
co-side. You sure you could do that?
Yeah. Just anywhere I can be to have a sight line on where.
Okay.
I mean, even if I'm in white room, like even if they come out and then play point, like somewhere where I have a long sight line, I'm not just gonna get run down.
Yeah, and especially if you have your shift, even if they push you on co-side, you can just shift right back to your team, and then they've used a lot of cooldowns.
I can get really far.
Yeah, I think that seems very, very reasonable. Okay, love it. Okay, you guys are, I think, really nailing these matchups actually. So I think like obviously there's a lot of confusion with Overwatch 2, and it's a lot easier to kind of analyze these things in a VOD review afterwards. But that's practice, right? Like that's where practice comes in. So this looks good. Okay, so composition has stayed the same, but the matchup is different. So for stupid people, what's the goal?
Kill the monkey.
Yeah.
Or force the monkey out.
Sure. I mean that's fine. Okay. How do you do that?
We could try and bait his gauges.
Okay.
What
are they? Okay, so I want you to flip. Whenever you get confused, one thing that helps is to flip the script. You are Team Blue. What do you want to do?
Well, I killed.
looking to hit on rotates.
Yeah. We want to dive, right? We want to get in there. We want to dive. We want to set our Sombra up on your backline and get in there with Monkey, right? So you know this. So what do you guys need to do?
Maybe punish their aggression.
Yeah.
Okay. How?
We have Zarya bubbles, so
Save both bubbles for our backline or whoever their target is. That can bubble the hack.
Okay.
Bubble on or whoever else they go on next.
Okay. So you use your bubbles, your nades, your sleep dart, everything, your Sojourn E, maybe even to peel off their dive, right?
Yeah.
You've successfully peeled off their dive. Now what?
well,
The fight isn't won and we're not like up people.
Yep.
Like chill and reset. Their cooldowns are faster than ours.
Are they?
we can.
Yeah, Monkey. I mean,
everyone's
Monkey leap
resources
5
are down.
seconds. I guess.
But Monkey
not bubbles,
wait a
but-
second. Will Monkey leap with 5 seconds?
I mean, or not bubble. Sorry. Let's see. No, actually, yeah, okay. Yeah, they're about the same. I was thinking like on a cooldowns being long.
I
but-
would actually disagree. I actually think you guys are going to consistently have the faster cooldowns. Talking about
And,
you're
and we
talking
benefit
about.
from using resources there.
Well, that's the question, right? So they are very reliant on 2 things: Sombra being on your backline, and Winston Bubble. And if they don't have those 2 things, they cannot dive, at least properly, right? Now, what's a longer cooldown? A Zarya bubble or a Winston bubble?
Winston.
Okay. And what's going to take, who is more reliant on being perfectly set up to do what they need to do? A Sombra with Translocator or a Genji or a Sojourn?
Wait, who is easier to
Sombra.
get?
Yeah. Or who's easier, who's harder? You just tell me.
Yeah, Sombra is harder to set up.
Right.
than
So
item.
when you have successfully peeled off a dive, we ask the question again, what should you do? Push.
Should
Go
be
after
aggressive.
it,
Yeah.
Push. Now, do you need to int? Like, you have to get a kill, otherwise it's over.
No, just
No,
take space. set
but
up our
take space.
backline.
Exactly. Take space. And the thing is if you push properly and you're able to, like, let's say that Monkey jumps in, he uses bubble, the Sombra gets cleared, you peel it off, nice job. If you're able to push, then they might not ever be able to dive again. They might not be able to stabilize from the, because that's what they want to do. They want to be hot or cold, hot and cold, hot and cold. Your comp is hotter, cooler, hotter, but it's not hot and cold. It's somewhere in between, right? Their comp is stronger than yours when Monkey has bubble, but if you can survive that burst, your comp is consistently better until he gets bubble back. So you need to play to that strength. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So let's watch this. So if you give them the chance to restabilize and they set up the perfect dive again, that's just a dice roll. So like, okay, so what's the issue here?
Another disconnect.
Right, it's just a disconnect. Now I will say that like this is probably okay, so let's actually pause this for a second. The first mistake is not even the disconnect. What's the mistake here? This is probably more knowledge based and not teamwork based.
Positioning, I'd say.
rotate.
Yeah, what's the problem with this rotate?
They can literally drop on him without using leap or dash.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You have to earn the rotate. You either have to fake them out so that they mess up, or you have to what?
Push them out.
You have to poke them out, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You can't, like, you have to force that Winston bubble. If you just rotate, they're like, okay, we're gonna dive you. You're gonna die. Before you do take a fight or rotate, you need to force out a cooldown or some way, shape, or form, right? So how would you do that, right? How do you make that Winston use bubble? How do you make him use jump? How do you make them use nade? Or how do you clear Sombra out? Or how do you force Genji to flag? Like, any of these things can be cues for you to be able to rotate, right? So how do you do that?
Shoot him.
How do you shoot them and where do you shoot them?
Find a spot to shoot him because where we're going, we don't have any.
Yeah.
angle.
Yeah, take the free space.
Yeah. You could go like here, so get your Sojourn walking forward, saving her shift, right? Maybe even your Ana comes to like this position here, right? Your Zarya walks to like this position here and goes for max beam range, right? Genji kind of walks. That's the great thing about Genji too, right? So Genji can rotate super aggressively and they just dash out, right? And throw shurikens. Oh no, they're diving. I'm gonna dash out, right? But you have Genji, Sojourn, and Zarya who are all like okay at putting early pressure out, right? Whittling down that HP, whittling down their armor. Your Lucio can be spy checking, or the Lucio could be looking to boop the Genji or boop the monkey engage, right? And then they dive, and then what do you guys do? As they're diving, what is your mindset?
Get out of the way.
Out, right? Maybe even rotate backwards, right? Like everybody rotates backwards, shoot monkey bubble, clear out the Sombra, focus her. And then as soon as that Sombra's out, that bubble's been used, everyone's okay. What's the plan now? Push. You could either walk up the stairs, maybe not recommended, or push on the rotate, right? You get the free rotate for free, and then you go from there. But now this time, you have better positioning, and you've got 45-50 charge. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys are kind of cheating here, but this comp's just too good. They're just simply too good at this. But yeah, this is the dance of these matchups: Zarya versus Winston. It's like Zarya trying to force that Winston bubble out, Winston really trying to not use it. So just something to keep in mind. Okay, let's and to keep in mind that this attack is really, really hard. Like this map is also just really, really difficult. So don't be ashamed if it takes you a lot of tries to like break this. It's just the nature of this map defensively is rough.
Yeah, I fucked up there.
Yeah, that's okay. Like like think about this. Like what should the mindset be here too?
Bait them.
Right, bait them, and then right now, where's that Sombra set up? You got to know these things, right? It's finding the most important things to be thinking about, which for me is just force bubble, scout for Sombra. Obviously the deflect on the Sojourn thing really, really sucks as well. And then we miss the boop. We don't get the Ana cooldowns defensively. We don't get the bubbles defensively. We don't quite get the amp that we want either. It's a train wreck, right? But it's all a mindset problem here, right? Like if we were fully expecting that, which we should have been, then that would have been a completely different result. Okay, let's keep moving. You guys get full held?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No shame.
Do we? We do.
I think we almost full held back.
Yeah, like I said, it's this map. Okay. Okay. Well, the good news is that we have another familiar compositional matchup for us. At least the stuff is going to start to bleed together. You guys noticing that yet? Where some of the concepts from the other compositions start applying with this one. So this one looks vaguely familiar, right? This matchup looks very familiar, right?
Yeah.
What does this remind you of earlier in the review?
Poking them.
Yeah, it's Lijiang, right? It's like Lijiang, but it's also this. It's like what we just did in the attack too, right? With the diva, right, versus the monkey. Like try and pre-pressure their dive, and then when they do dive, focus on peeling. And then once that monkey's used bubble and we've cleared out Sombra, we can push again, right? Even with this backline, you can push again. Okay, so let's. How would you guys do that? What's the mindset here? Well, what's the problem right now?
We're in their ship.
Yeah.
Which is where they want us.
How are they allowed to rotate this easily? You know, that should never ever happen. Like these guys need to be eating. They need to Winston bubble this rotate. They should not be able to do that for free. And there are literally Overwatch League teams where if they use Winston bubble here or like nade, there's a Winston bubble. They didn't even need to use it actually. But if you guys like burn them low HP, force Winston bubble and nade, I have literally seen Overwatch League teams with Ana Zen backline push them in the room in here because they don't have bubble. Like that's how attentive these teams are to like cooldown advantage. So I'm not saying you guys need to do that. Just be aware. Okay, let's actually listen to comms first. Let's always start with that.
No, we spam up here.
Hey, Lucio, monkey, Ana.
No, they can stay. No, they.
Same comp.
That's not worth. They're right there.
Bottom left. Same comp, bottom left.
Oh, that was such a
back
bad.
up now. Walking under, taking the same rotate we did. I'm hacked. I'm just.
Sports are rotating right now.
Where are you guys? Okay. Huh.
So
I thought they were pushing in there. Sorry.
We started too
good.
early, but
Not from me. I got some right upstairs. No TP, no TP.
Where?
Above, on me, right here. One's dead.
It's funny. Who were the first two people that died in their comp? Interesting.
Alright, go kill. Just push in and kill. There's only 3.
What should you guys do now?
Probably push on the last.
Probably push. Now they might have Winston bubble again and nade, which means they could trade easily. But remember that what's really nice about Ana and Zen, what are they better at than any other support in the game?
Shooting people.
long
Shooting
range
people.
damage.
Killing them.
Right, shooting and healing from range, right? They don't need to go inside. So if you guys are like, I want to push, well, guess what? Your Zen doesn't actually need to go inside the room. So if you guys want to push, yeah, go ahead. My Zen will sit right here, toss a orb, and just spam down the choke. My Ana will sit right, here or whatever, and just heal. And okay, go ahead. I'll throw an aid in there, right? So feel free to push, right? Feel free to push, but
Shot my own monkey, bro.
this is good.
Lucius could die.
I mean, I imagine they're all going to die now, right? Sure.
Or I'm slept. Not dead. Ana?
Monkey has this.
I mean, this is even better. Like, nice.
Kill
That's
this guy,
this
kill
nice
this guy.
slow
They're
bleed.
down 2 still. They have no supports.
He was lit. Just shoot him once.
Send back up.
He used bubble lead. So.
He's so lit. My fault.
Ah, that's terrible. Okay. Yeah, that was really good. What did you guys do well?
We punished the rotate.
Yeah, you punished the rotate. I mean, you did a bang up job of it, but you at least did it, right? Okay. Let's actually. I want to watch one more fight. Actually, I want to watch one more fight.
Fluid.
I'm back up.
Storm rush is definitely gonna go for you.
Staging for it. I don't know what he's looking at right now. This is a choke here. Like, he's top.
Oh wait. Why
Monkey
are we-
one.
On a hack
Which one? Which one?
On a
Okay,
hack
I'm
in the
on.
bud. On a hack in the bud.
I'm on her.
Okay. Let's.
This is a
that
choke
was-
here. Like,
Yeah, this is.
I
Our support's splitting up
we had a
as well.
He's
we should be like support should be back right, or on one of the high
They're
grounds.
up with us.
It depends. So okay. So what's the problem? Right. Let me actually freeze
bottom
frame
left,
it.
yeah.
Wait for a second. 3,
can-
2,
this is a choke here. Like,
1. What's the problem right here? What's the distance between these two, blue and red?
Nothing.
Nothing. And what is their HP right now? Full, right? It would, listen to me, it would unironically be better for my supports to be pushed up to this position here and shooting them down here than it would be for you guys to be here. This is crazy. You're allowing them to walk on top of you at full HP. I want you to walk onto them when they're low HP or low on cooldowns, not now. Genji versus Zen wins in range, Genji wins in close. That's just the very, very basic nature of the matchup, right? So for you guys, I mean, we could break down the micro. I'm not really going to do so. So you guys tell me, what are some positions that you guys can initially start with Ana Zen that are going to allow you to pressure the enemy comp, but not get you killed immediately? They don't have to be perfect. Just give me something better than where you were.
Stay up on the stairs.
Yeah,
right there,
this is
bottom
fine.
of the screen.
This is not
or
perfect.
in the back, maybe
This is-
not, but in the back building on the left.
There's
Sure.
a window in the back
Here.
building. Yeah.
You can do this here. This is okay.
Even then, we can't push like.
Yeah.
We can't be
you
as
could
aggressive
play
as
the
we-
bottom road they want to rotate into, like the one they took before.
What
It's
you're
like a-
probably going to learn is that starting stairs is good, and then being able to rotate back towards this or back towards point and cover here generally is more consistent as long as you're spy checking for that Sombra.
Right.
This building is a little bit too isolated. It's hard to see things from this building that I've learned.
Exactly. What
Yeah, so you'd get no, basically you survive, but you've sealed your doom because you get no pressure early. Remember, if you can't shoot enemies early in the dive with this comp, then it doesn't matter if you survive it, you're going to die. You're guaranteeing that they're going to get the dive if they want.
They've just
So the problem here is that, like, I appreciate you guys trying to get some spam, but I just need a little more distance, right? You have to force them to actually jump, because if you think about like the rest of your team here, let's watch this.
This is a choke here. Like,
Look at your Genji's positioning right here. Look at your Diva's positioning. You see this? This is brilliant from these two guys, right? Because what are they doing right now? What is this Genji doing right now?
Hitting the rotate.
Yeah, just shurikens on anything, right? What does his Diva do?
try to boot monkey over the subway.
Completely
but...
ruins their jump. And look at his HP too. Look at his HP, right? Look at that. He's lost his armor before he's even landed. His armor's gone. I don't know. Look at your Sombra, right? What's your Sombra doing now? Right? What's she doing?
In the back line.
Right, she's on the back line now. Sombra doesn't have to play in the back line versus this comp, but it's also fine. What is this? What kind of a chaos does this provide, right? Like, they're on as like, we have to push, but now I'm getting shot from behind, and she's confusing comms. Like, it's a mess, right? So I think right now, my front line and divers are playing this reasonably well. Backliners are just trolling with the distance, right? Imagine if your Ana was like here, or your Zen was here, right? Now, at this point in the fight, what could your Ana Zen do now? Look at their HP, look at their cooldowns if your Ana Zen were alive.
Now they walk out.
Now you guys push. Yeah, now you guys would actually push because look, like they've used bubble. Look at the HP. Look at that, guys. Look at that.
I think this is a problem we had, and this is a problem of Rush 1 as well, where Lawson or I are calling their rotates for them.
Okay.
And I think thinking for themselves is something that needs to be done more for rotates. Or I think rotates.
Yep.
And I also think the call to spam on the right side of train, like closer to their spawn, is super easy to punish and a bad idea.
Okay. So like
And we did it
over
twice.
here.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's just
I'm
as long
pretty
as you
sure
can
we
get it's a little bit of spam early is fine, but the problem with spam here is it's like they're going to be able to regenerate their HP by the time the fight actually starts, and so it's not actually good spam. You know what I'm saying? You want spam to where as soon as they've crossed over the line of committal, which is like this line right here, that they are now taking damage as soon as they cross that line, because this is permanent damage here, right?
Yeah.
Spade of damage in their spawn is not permanent, so it's okay to like get a little bit of scouting information. That's fine, but it's not permanent damage, so it doesn't really matter that much. Okay. You guys see what I'm saying, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Something to keep in mind. And again, I'm not telling you that this is the comp that you guys should be playing, but you know, what's actually funny is you guys actually might win this, even though you're down 2, just off of the nature of how many resources they lost before they dived. Do you see it? Like, do you see how close this fight actually is, even though you guys were down 2 instantly?
Oh, I think
Like,
Right.
resources are
with that
expensive, guys. Like I would rather have a 3v5 with the enemy team having 0 cooldowns, than I would like an even fight, right? Like that you guys actually win this fight just because they used literally everything to kill your 2 supports, and you got all your DPS and your tank had full HP, full cooldowns, and they lost. That's kind of like what we're looking at here. I want to watch one more fight. I keep saying that, but I lied. I wouldn't mind my Genji playing a little bit more aggressively here. Now what they'll do is they'll try and hack you, Genji. But if you get pocket and then you can survive 1 second and dash out, well then now they've used all their cooldowns out in the open to kill you, and then now you're on his and get to shoot for free. Like the idea needs to be that you need to force him to try and decide: are we going to try and punish these guys punishing us, or are we going to try and force a dive, right? Same thing here, dying too easily. The Sombra needs to be spy checked. My Onizen are too close, and this is one of the this is why this might not be optimal, right? Especially when they have ultimates. It's just a little bit too close. It's better than where you were, but just a little too close. And once again, you see like how they had to use everything, right?
Right.
And then they lose again.
We end up winning.
Yeah, they lose again. So if you feel like you're dying too often, I think positioning here could be a lot cleaner, and you guys need to understand the matchup better. Okay. Any questions? Okay, we'll keep going.
No, sir.
Oh boy, new comp. Okay,
Yeah. So
what are we doing?
I actually think my Echo is not good enough to do this, or I don't.
Almost
I don't,
the same comp.
Yeah, I don't know how to play.
So what would you play
Echo
instead?
into this. Probably just Genji or Tracer. Or I would like to know how Echo should work, but I feel like I don't play it right.
Okay. Well, the good news is that they're very, very similar in playstyle, right? Like the changes. You're just playing another dive DPS for another dive DPS. So, what would you say is the matchup goal for you guys in this comp? You guys in defense here, or oh, you're on attack? Okay, you guys tell me.
Take space and then jump gas.
What does take space mean?
Oh,
They're holding off angles, force them off it. I mean, if it's a threat to us or if it's important space for us to
I can't.
take.
Yeah, I can't really see them that well right now.
Yeah, I'll play it out a little bit. What do you mean you can't see 720p through a 1080 Discord stream? Good. It's like pixel from a pixel. Okay.
Especially on like the blue environment.
Yeah, it's brilliant. Okay, so this is. I want you to close your eyes and remember that this is what you guys were playing just a few seconds ago, essentially, right?
Yeah.
On Midtown, but now the roles are flipped. So, shoot. What do they want to do?
They want to stay at distance.
Yeah.
And wait for us to use our cooldowns.
Yeah, they will not even wait for you. I'm gonna nitpick on you, right? That's not the right. They will force you, and they will force you by this person egoing a little bit, this person egoing a little bit, this person egoing a lot, this person probably egoing some too, and just shooting you with full range pocket. Yeah. They will hurt you before you hurt them. And then if you dive, you're going to be at low resource and they can peel it off. And then once they peel off the dive, then what do?
Then they push us.
They hurt you. They hurt you again, right? Okay. Now, isn't that just dandy? I guess the Onizen comp is uncountable, and there's no way to beat it, right? To be clear, I mean this is a fairly decent comp. We still see it even in Overwatch League now, so it's not bad, right? But how would you beat that? You guys said clear space, look for a dive. If they just troll the lobby like you guys did on first defense and get too close and you guys are full HP, you would just bubble your Echo in, or bubble your Genji, or bubble your Tracer, or even bubble your Soldier and just dive into the middle of them and kill them, right? Easy peasy. Okay?
No.
But that won't always be the option. Let's say these guys are not brain dead idiots. How do you win?
We have to close the gap like as quickly as possible. Not get picked off in the middle of it.
Okay.
Take
I
as
don't
little
think we have
damage
to.
as possible.
We don't have to. Yeah, we have to. I feel like we can close the gap by going under and then reset, or like
Yeah.
get our
Yeah.
resources.
We have to be
back.
a stack of 5 the whole time because Sombra or just a discorded target's gonna explode the second.
Oh
they
yes,
sleep
I
or
get
anything.
spawn camped like 3 times here.
Okay. Now, to be fair, that's a horrible matchup for you.
Yeah.
As I'm sure you learned. But okay, you guys are on the right track. Basically, the idea is that you need to close the distance. Like, people get so confused with like compositional matchups and like archetypes and macro. Guys, look, it's that simple. With which heroes have better range, right? These heroes do. They have more range. So to win, you need to not let them play range and get close without taking too much damage. It's that simple. If you guys were on Reaper, or if you're on Genji, or it doesn't matter. There's little micro details, but the overall comp is that they like long, you like short. That's it. It's that simple. So what I like is that you guys are thinking, okay, is there a way to where we can get closer, stabilize, closer, stabilize, closer, stabilize, get on top of them, kill them? You kind of see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's the goal. So how do you do that here?
Get under gas.
Yeah, that's a good.
tunnel,
That's
get under
certainly a
gas.
good start, isn't it? Right. What's great about underneath gas?
Mega.
Right. Cover.
They
What-
can't see us.
Can they push you underneath gas?
Not without dropping to low ground.
Okay, that's a trick question, because the answer is yes, they can. And in Overwatch League, we see teams actually do drop, even on a Zen comps, and push people in gas, like Winston comps and Zarya comps. But
Interesting.
it's awkward, right? It's risky, right? There's a gamble to do that. It's not always the right thing to do. And what does it cost them if they want to do that?
Resources.
A resource. It's an all or nothing,
And their
right?
positioning.
It's an all or nothing. Exactly. It's positioning. It's an all or nothing. It can work. It's even sometimes the right play for a team like Blue, but it's not free, right? So something that you have to be. So they either let you stabilize and reset, or they try and push you, which is a gamble. I'm not going to pay a ton of attention to the spawn camping, to be honest with you. I really don't like the Echo versus this a whole lot.
Yeah.
Well, I would
don't
prefer.
like it either.
You learned that, yeah. I would much prefer a Genji here. I think Genji's a strong hero right now.
I'm pretty sure I swapped Genji. Like,
Okay. So I don't really care as much about like the spawn camp goofiness. Like, let's just think like, how would we play this? Okay, so
we do try.
yeah, we do try. Okay, so let's see how we do this here.
We're split.
We just missed the bubble, right? We missed the bubble, and also
3, 2, 1. F.
what's the other issue here? What's the issue? You see it?
Yeah, ours are
Kind of not under gas.
You're not going under gas.
Not bad.
You're trying to all in,
Yes, pushing
right?
them, yeah.
You're trying to all in. Does that look familiar, guys? Does that look familiar?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Something to consider, right? Different composition, different situation, but we're skipping steps sometimes. Sometimes, guys, you just can't reach them, right? You just can't. So it's okay to do your homework first and then set up and do it again, because once you get under gas, that distance is a lot shorter. They're going to have a lot less time to spam you before you get on top of them. And you can also do cute things like split. Like, you could have your Zarya on a Lucio come up this way. You could have your Genji flank from behind this way. All sorts of fun stuff you can do. Okay. I don't want to spend like a lot of time dwelling on it. Okay, do we stabilize? No, you try and all in again. Like, this time you even make the rotation. You see this? You guys actually make the rotation. But again, what kind of a rotation are you doing here? It's all in. You see that?
Yeah, we don't.
It's all in, right? There's really no way. And like, look at the angles that they have in you guys, right? The Sombra is obviously dealing with this. You've got 1 angle, 2, 3, 4. This target's about to be 5. Like, it's like you're like in the Roman Colosseum, but like every single like person in the stands has like an AK-47. like you're not gonna win. There's like actually no chance. I mean, I think this is like it would require literal goats composition to be able to like push and stabilize through that. Okay, one last thing I'm gonna say just in this matchup. What if they are doing such a darn good job of like, let's say you guys complete the rotate into gas, and that Ash drops down to here with a Harmony Orb, and then like there's Zens over here, and they start taking angles on you without you even draw. Because this is gonna happen. Good spam teams will find ways to take angles on you to prevent you from stabilizing. So how do you stop that from happening?
Target and push.
You can send Genji out.
Yeah. You could do like little soft pushes, is what I'd say. Where you don't like commit, but you put everybody just throws Lucio spam on a spam. You can clear out that target. Do you remember? Let's go to here. I brought this up very briefly on y'all's defense actually, when I was encouraging your Genji's positioning. Was it this one? No, it was the next one I think. Yeah, so I was encouraging their Genji's positioning, but like let's say this Genji here, and Impulse kind of greeds a little bit and messes up. These targets just pressing M1 can force Genji to dash away if they're all focused on it. So if a spam angle opens up that tries to pre-pressure y'all's cooldowns out, you guys sometimes don't even necessarily need to use any cooldowns. If you just focus fire on that target, you can force them to back up and allow you to stabilize. You kind of see what I'm saying? So again, flipping the script here a little bit. Okay. Let's skip to another composition. Okay. You guys have any questions so far?
This is kind of like a micro thing, I guess, but
Sure.
like, who should be on like cart?
It's a great question.
It feels hard now to like.
Okay. Well,
decide
let's go back to that exact same attack, and then how would you guys manage cart here?
Lucio.
Right now, how would you manage cart?
Diva.
Oh.
Or Zarya, sorry. Right.
I mean, we're starting to push.
It's a trick question. Notice I didn't say who should be pushing cart. I said how should we be managing cart as a team?
Leave it.
I
I mean, once we're under gas, like, I don't know, we can.
It's kind of over then, you know?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So then, again, how do we manage cart?
we push it after fights. Yeah.
Could, yeah.
Try and
during
neutral
the
cart further
soft
up
fights.
so that we can actually get to it from the
Yeah.
gas.
What can you guys realistically push this cart to like here without dying?
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. You might need to use
sure.
like your Zarya with full pocket, or maybe a Genji with deflect and bubbles. But you don't need, for example, when you guys do this rotate, this is not good, right? This cart could be at least up to here, where you can actually touch it, right, with your Genji underneath, right, or is your Zarya underneath, and then you can actually pressure cart. Now they can contest from up top, but you can actually like contest cart, and then you guys win the fight, and then you can push it afterwards. So if you can at all early push it super far before you have to do some sort of a crazy rotate, that's the way to go. And then you can always, worst case scenario, okay, the cart rolls back, that's okay, win the fight, push the cart back up, take positions for the next one. Does that make sense?
Yeah, because I think when we cap this point, I get like Genji gets stuck on like cart, and then like the rest of my team is like pushing up sort of.
Let's look at it really fast. Let's look at it real fast here. So like here.
Yeah.
Okay, so again, what's the solution here? Think about time. Think about even this from a timing perspective, right? Like that was one of the first things that you brought up. Is this good timing from your team? Is this a good plan? Good fight plan? No, right. This is a 5v4. No, right?
Yeah.
Like you've got, it's a mess. So what's the plan then?
Go back up and stabilize again.
Yeah, go back. I want maybe some people in here, right? But just push cart. Don't take any fight. Do not fight. Do not show yourself. Do not let them do anything to you. No spam. No Zen sightlines. No Ash sightlines. Just push cart. This, with your Genji on cart, is bat crap insane, right? Like this is insanity. Like what? This is over. This fight should be lost. Your mentality here is that you are not fighting. You are pushing cart until you can no longer push cart without fighting. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the goal that has to be here. Like right now, the goal is not to fight. The goal is to just pocket your Genji, pocket your Zarya, push card. Keep pushing card. Keep pushing card. Keep pushing card. Keep pushing card. You guys actually don't even. That's the one nice thing about this is like Brawl is kind of dead, but you can still push card. You guys actually don't even need to fight until the card's almost like here-ish. And if they do drop into and push you, okay, yes, that stops card. But are you that upset about that? No, again, like maybe they have a really good ult game where they win that fight. Okay, maybe that sucks, but like most of the time, you're gonna be happy if they have to drop into you. It should be hard for them if you're fully focusing on pocketing cart to stop. It should be hard for them to stop cart before like here-ish. And again, if you can get the cart to here and win the fight here, holy crap, that is an ugly recontest for them. Especially for their comp. You kind of see what I'm saying?
I think we take fights like that because like the way we used to do it is like we'd set up to take a fight where like we wanted to, but then it was different when we had like 6 people.
Yeah, it's different. Well, you have the diva, you know?
Yeah, we had the diva.
Right, your diva pushes card, everybody else takes position. Your diva's kind of like the middle point, and she can fly away. And you could even see things like, okay, maybe my Zen was on cart, and he had good sight lines on like where the fight was actually happening. Like there's a lot of different things that have changed. But like right now, for example, like do you see the problem again here? We've got people over here, but we're pushing card at the same time. Are we playing to fight, or are we playing to push card?
Yeah.
Right? Which one is it? I don't know. And what's going to happen is you're going to end up doing both really poorly, or you're going to have to overcommit like this fight. It's going to be a real mess. Okay, does that make sense?
Yep.
Yeah.
Alrighty. I want to do one more map, and then I want to talk like a little bit about overall stuff. Do you guys have any other map that you guys would prefer to look at? Circuit, Kings Row, Ilios, defense and route.
Circuit was a SIG comp, right?
Yeah.
Circuit
That
was
kind of a mess.
but yeah, I think we forced a comp that we honestly don't need to play.
This is a weird comp.
Yeah.
Oh, we're supposed to have BAP Zen, but our
Gotcha. Classic Gigafart moment.
it was a classic.
Literally,
It was a
it
very
is.
classic Gigafart moment.
Okay. You know what though? This Gigafart is also Gigabrain because he knew what I was going to ask. How would you make this comp work? This is going to be your the weight on your mental exercise is increasing. How do you make a BAP
with or without
double
the
sniper
Lucio?
with a Lucio?
Okay.
We can bait engages with the Lucio, because we have the Lucio speed.
Yeah.
So no one can really get dived on our team.
Actually, I'm gonna add a step later. Okay, because the Lucio versus this is the obviously is like, oh, you're gonna deny and peel off the dive, right? Like that's kind of obvious. That's too easy, right? Let's say this is a mirror with BAP Zen. How would you play the Lucio, guys?
Okay. I can take like really aggressive angles and like weird rotates and shit. Because normally my shield just insta breaks versus that, but if we have Lucio's speed, they like get me underneath their cover or something.
Yeah, good ego. Your Sigma position you could do for like quote unquote little dives, like amp push with Sig cooldown advantage, right? And then you take that timing for your Widow to take like a hyper aggressive angle. Yeah, so like, is it good? No. but like the thing is like you're gonna have to be able to understand these things. Like I want this to be like you guys are not only better at like making these kind of reads, but you also understand that it's often not super hard if you just break it down to the very basics. Like it's not hard. Just what does the hero do? What is the hero good at? How can we use it? It's really that. And to be honest, I've not helped you guys too much with that. I've mostly just asked the questions, and you guys have come up with the good answers. So the knowledge you guys have is, I think, probably going to be good enough to solve most of these matchups. Did you guys want to look at like the actual spammy-ish matchup here?
I mean, yeah, I think so.
All right.
Sure.
Well, the good news.
We did struggle to get value out of like Widow as well. On like
I ended up swapping a lot.
Okay.
Second point was hard.
So the good news is that you guys should already know how to play this. I can help you with some details that you guys might be missing, which are important. But you guys should already know how to play this. How do you guys play this? We've talked about this matchup already. At least the big picture.
Spamming them down.
Yeah. If
I don't
that
know before they get anywhere.
Yeah, do not let the Zarya or Genji or Sombra go anywhere at any point in time. And when they dive, peel it, and then what?
Go.
Burn them alive, right? You have limited pushing options with this composition, but make the grill hot early and make the grill hot afterwards as best as you can. Now, what is going to ruin your day about this composition? What is probably the worst part of this composition for you guys to deal with? EMP and in the neutral.
Genji.
What were you guys losing to in these neutrals?
Them just rushing us down.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay. So then you guys just trolled the lobby. Then I was thinking way too hard. What is theoretically a really, really, really annoying part about this comp that's hard to deal with if you guys sucked a little less?
Getting like sidelines for Widow. Yeah, keeping
Sombra in our back line.
Yeah, that's it. It's basically, I mean, I made you guys think a little bit. Yeah, if Sombra gets through, you're kind of cooked. Because your Widow ends up having to play like basically inside of your backline, because if she gets hacked, it's over. She cannot win that duel. So but you see like what I'm talking about, right? It's an ounce of prevention, right? It's all you. So what's the solution, right?
Look at her. Be aware that she's in our back line.
Well, before that.
You want like spy check?
Don't let her get in your back line.
Yeah.
Like look at the map you're playing on, guys.
It's one rectangle. Yeah.
I can tell you right now that we tried Sombra comps versus like the Gladiators and Space. I hate that guy on Sigma. He would not let Backbone through. He would not let him through. They were constantly spam. There was literally nowhere for Backbone. He could not get through. And that's it right there, right? So, and what that is that's not just a Sombra micro tip, right? That's the entire mentality your composition is, right? It's the entire composition is you will not let this person walk through the choke without losing half their HP. This person is not allowed to peek without getting their deflect forced. You see what I'm saying? If this person has no deflect and this person is missing 200 HP, that's it. That's the dive. It's over. It's gone. There's nothing they can do. What's the problem here?
They get across.
They are in.
They are in. How are they allowed to be in? How is that allowed to happen? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Shouldn't happen. So how did it happen? Let's not just like flame you guys, as much fun as that is. How did it happen? Let's watch it again. Let's figure out why. Why did that happen? How are they allowed to just walk in full HP and get literally on top of you? Oh my gosh.
Under dashed in.
How is he allowed to reach you with a dash?
Our positioning.
I think you're a tiny bit close.
Yeah.
If a Genji can dash you, I think you're probably too close. I think just spamming here and just holding this line here is probably okay. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, just staying on the bridge instead of going
Yeah, I agree. And then I think even here, I think you guys could be a little bit braver. I understand that your BAP is low, but this Genji, surely he had his deflect forced, right? Surely he had his these are the things that need to get forced out a little bit. So I don't want to like overreact here, but I think like you need to be able to make them hurt for walking forward like that. And I think y'all's positioning was too aggressive. Now, what is it? One Genji flank that everybody and their mother needs to be aware of on this map.
One what?
Genji flank.
He can go over the building.
He can go over the building, right.
Yeah.
So just, you can Venomine this, by the way, and he will trip it as he falls over. Just something to be aware of. But yeah, if you can stop this here and be aware that this here, they're cooked. It's over. And to be honest, it's just spy check and shoot them. That's it. That's the composition of matchup, like in a nutshell. And if you cannot spy check and shoot them, then you're going to lose, and it's really that simple. I will say that Sojourn Widow can be tricky versus their comp, especially like once first point's over, because it's hard to stop the Sombra now.
Yeah.
So
I feel like Sojourn Tracer would be.
Yeah, Sojourn Tracer sounds good. I like Sojourn Tracer a lot. Sojourn Genji is also good. Same kind of concept, right? Where your Genji's like looking to mark their Genji. Maybe your Genji's looking to hunt their Sombra. Maybe your Genji's just throwing shurikens. Like the nice thing about Genji isn't just so much that he's anti-dive, so much that he's not a target that they can just instantly run on and kill, right? So it's more so your Genji's good, Tracer's good.
I think we kind of want to swap, but since I was on Sojourn, we kind of got stuck with Silverstein.
Yeah,
like,
I got you. I mean, even Sombra's not the end of the world. So Sombra, I would say, is not good, but I wouldn't say that it's. I would say it's probably a little bit of an upgrade.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Swapping again.
Yeah. I wouldn't worry too much about it. I think you guys probably have the general mindset. It's just prevent these guys from diving from at full HP, and then peel and then push, and then you guys should be okay. Okay. So, do you guys have any questions? So, because we still have some time left. If you guys do, anything related to what we went over, anything completely unrelated, communication, general team structure, whatever. You guys let me know.
I don't think I have anything.
Kill the Fly got server muted. Ouch.
Oh yeah, I heard his mic like echoing, so I was like,
oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Okay.
Go.
Philip rules with an iron fist.
I see. It's a cruel master. Yikes. No questions. You guys can take a second if you need to.
Most of my stuff got answered.
Okay.
So I don't know. I'm all right.
Okay. Everything makes sense overall.
Yeah. Is there like a large difference between like when to play Genji or Tracer on like, or is it just like map and comp?
I think no, I don't think so. I think the largest difference is actually I think two things, which is player strength, right? Whichever one you feel more comfortable playing on. And then to be honest with you, the reason why I generally lean towards Genji is because I just think he's a stronger hero in Overwatch 2, which sounds weird, but the damage nerf really did kind of hurt Tracer.
Yeah, she feels unnatural, but she still, I felt like I was getting like value. Just
then stick with it, The only other detail I'd throw in there is the obvious like playstyle is that Genji does well on maps with high ground and Tracer does more better when like more
that's
wide
kind
open.
of what I was just going off of. If it had high grounds that were hard to get to.
Yeah, then you're good. But yeah, they fill very similar roles and they'll both help out in the situations in which you need them. So nothing complicated there. Okay. Any other questions? If not, you guys can always just DM to me later. It's fine.
Okay. Then
okay. So what's the goal for you guys moving forward then? Like simply as you can.
Win games.
Do well at our season.
Okay. How are you going to get there?
Or even closer than that, do well in a tournament.
What goals are going to help you to do that though?
Pay attention to their cooldown.
Going
to
ult tracking.
Yeah. So ult tracking was the big communication one that you guys talked about, right?
Right.
Okay. What about like the macro understanding? What is something that you guys are going to work at in self review or VOD review or team review or just general approach to the game?
Make sure that we go when their cooldowns are forced, and don't go when they're not forced. Overall.
Well, that was a very niche macro.
In rush versus dive.
Yeah,
I think that still applies in some other ones.
Yeah, I agree as well. I think the overall goal for you guys is just to simply take what you guys learned from today and what you already knew before you even had this discussion today, and just look at the basics of the matchups, right? Yeah. I helped, obviously. That's why I'm here. But you guys already kind of knew a lot, right? It's not like you guys are idiots. You understood matchups a lot. You understood macro a lot. So use it, right?
Yeah.
I think I feel confident that against most matchups, most comps that you guys try, you'll have a pretty good. Cut out there. I'm confident that against most matchups and most compositions that you guys will try, you will be able to get a pretty decent understanding of what you need to be doing. You guys see what I'm saying?
I think the mindset of like seeing it from their perspective for like what their win con is like really helpful.
Okay, good.
And that way we were thinking about it.
Okay, good. That's the goal. Because I'm temporary. Team is forever, right? Yeah. There's gonna be a million comps and a million potential situations. So you guys need to practice that not that mindset, but you need to practice that skill. And the key thing is to make it as uncomplicated as you possibly can. To make it so simple that you'll be able to remember it in a scrim. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Sure.
Okay. If you do have any questions, my DMs are open. It could be micro stuff, macro, team stuff, whatever. You just let me know. And keep in touch, okay?
Awesome.
All right. Appreciate your time.
Thank you, man.
You're very welcome. Have a good rest of your day. And good luck.
Thank you.
See you guys.
Thank you.
Okay, so that was JMU. That was a team VOD review. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Something a little bit different. Definitely different from what was happening yesterday. Great session. Appreciate it. See you, Falco Tank. Okay. If you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know. I am going to end stream with that. I wanted to keep that short and sweet, at least in terms of stream-wise. And if you guys are interested in coaching yourself, !coaching. We're probably going to be opening up individual and team coaching sessions by next week, I think is the goal. Either early next week, maybe late next week, or the week after at absolute latest. So yeah, you're very welcome, guys. If you have any questions, let me know. We're going to be working on a Genji guide, I believe, behind the scenes, similar to the Kiriko guide on YouTube. And that's basically all I've got. I'll chat with you guys. I will be streaming. The plan is to continue streaming tomorrow. Might be doing some more Genji tomorrow. Might be doing some Orisa tomorrow. Honestly, not too sure. We'll have to wait and see. I will see you guys tomorrow. Spy the bot.